Hello and welcome. So we've got another heat wave this week, and if you're a menopausal woman, you know this is a bit of a nightmare. It can be a bit of a nightmare. So I want to talk about some of the things we can do to help us get through a heat wave when we're going through the menopause. So my name is Sam, I'm a nutritional therapist, and it's my aim to help women in their mid-years get through the perimenopause, menopause and into older age as easily and simply as possible. And so I'd like to give you little tips and hints on how you can do that, because we're all busy women. We don't have time for long drawn out explanations. So these hopefully will be helpful, and these will be helpful really to anybody, but I think having a few things that you can turn to when you're going through the menopause is useful. And of course, when you've got a heat wave, this can really exacerbate the symptoms you already experience, like hot flushes, night sweats, sleep disturbances. This can actually become worse, and of course then you've got fatigue as well on top of that, because you're not sleeping well and the heat does zap us. So let's talk about what we can do. Well, first of all, the obvious: stay hydrated. Preferably drinking water throughout the day rather than when you're thirsty. Just sipping every now and then, just keeping yourself hydrated, because you're likely to be sweating more than normal, so you want to kind of top up because of that sweating. When it comes to meals, as a nutritional therapist, this is my bag really. Less food can be beneficial, in as much that when you digest, it creates a lot of heat. It's like a little furnace breaking down this food. So eating less may be beneficial, but also cool food rather than turning on an oven. My range comes on still to heat the water, so it can be desperately hot in the kitchen. But if you don't have to turn an oven on to cook, all to the good. So this is where batch cooking could be useful, and putting things in the freezer, defrosting. Salads are great at this time of year. So trying to just keep the food simple, not too much of it, not overeating, and salads are a great place to start with that. What else have we got? Clothing, cool clothing. Again, it comes down to natural materials are better for breathing. Polyester is terrible for containing the heat or making you sweat. I find even polycotton is just too hot, but a pure cotton garment or linen is much better, more breathable, lightweight where possible, and loose. And another little tip I have for you is, depending on your relationships and sizes, etc., I sometimes pinch my husband's shirts because they come down to mid-thigh and they're very loose and floaty, and still leaving me fairly respectable. I wouldn't open the door wearing that, preferably, but it's cool around the house and around the garden, so I pinch his shirts. Not the ones he likes to wear, but some of the old ones that he's no longer wearing. So cool clothing can be useful, and I like to wear a sun hat when I'm outside. I sometimes find, well, it keeps your head cooler. My hair's quite thick, so my head doesn't tend to, I don't get scorched by the sun because of that. But I find sunglasses make my face feel hot. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I quite like a sun hat. But if I've got my hair up, it's not so easy, so I like to wear the sunglasses to protect my eyes from the sun. But I do find them a little bit hot. When it comes to our environment, it's quite, I think, useful to keep the blinds closed in the house, or the curtains, depending on where the sun is. Now, the sun comes up at the front of my house, so I keep the blinds and curtains closed in the morning and open them in the afternoon when the sun has moved around the back. And I do the alternative on the back. I open everything up in the morning, including windows if it's really cool, and let that cool air in. And then in the afternoon, I close those blinds and curtains and keep the heat out from the back. And that works for me. But if you're out all day, you might want to keep all blinds and curtains closed into your home. But when the temperature starts to drop in the evening, it's really lovely to open all the windows and get the air through. And I like to open up the doors, and it depends where you are and what you can do. and that seems to help. But I'm in an old cottage. It does take time to heat up and it does take time to cool down. So there are advantages to being in an old building. Fans are quite useful to just circulate the air, makes you feel a little cooler. And I believe if you put a bowl, and I haven't tried this, a bowl of ice cubes in front of a fan, that can also be useful, that can help. At the moment, I'm in the garden. Now, I tend to avoid going outside between 11 and 3 when it's particularly hot. But here under the apple trees, we've got a little wooded area here. It's really cool, it's lovely, and we've got a nice breeze coming down from the hills. So this is one of my favourite spots on a hot day. Get the dappled light, and certain times you get the bees and the birds, and it's a lovely place to be. I like to wear a sun hat. I find sunglasses make me feel hot, but it depends. If I've got my hair up, it's hard to put the hat on. But a sun hat is a really good idea. But getting your hair off as well, off the back of your neck, I've just got a messy sort of updo today. That can really be helpful. And my girls are in the garden with me. They're here under the tree, or one of them is. They're pinching plums and raiding the strawberry bed if they can. But I've got to keep an eye on them because they do like to escape occasionally. So, so the environment at night, I think, if you're able to open your window, if it's cooler outside, I like to have the curtains pulled across, not fully. I don't use the blinds because they rattle if there's a breeze. And I just have a bottom sheet, cotton, and a top sheet. And I like to have the top sheet because mosquitoes and midges like to chew on me, so I like to be protected from them. But light bedding, natural fibres particularly are good, cotton and linen. You can get cool cooling pillows. I believe you can get cooling mats for the dogs as well, which is something I'm thinking of looking into for the girls. And a fan, again, it depends if it's going to disturb your sleep, but a fan at night can also keep that breeze just going over you and helping you to sort of manage your temperature better. So yes, there are a few of my environment tips to staying cool in a heat wave. What else we got? Yes, I remember my I think it was my great aunt actually used to get a face cloth and rinse it under cold water, pop it on the back of her neck, or she'd run the cold water over her wrists. And I do find that running cold water over your wrists can be very beneficial to help just cool you down a bit, and on the back of your neck. So a cool shower is nice. Avoiding hot baths, obviously. I don't think anybody would want to have a hot bath in a heat wave, but a cool shower. Nothing too cold so it shocks you too much, depending on your health, but a cool shower is very nice. Or start off warm and cool it as you finish the shower. Again, depending on your health there. What else have I got? I've got some notes here, so let's see what else I've got. I think I'm pretty much... Yes, a few things to avoid. I'd forgotten about this. A few things to avoid. The usual culprits that can make us sweat: alcohol. A chilled glass of white wine on a hot summer's day sounds delightful, but you can become very hot as a result later on at night. You start to get night sweats with that. Avoiding spicy food. That can be problematic for some. Others, the sweating can cool them. But I'd be a bit cautious with spicy food, caffeine as well, or hot drinks. Although sage, I haven't got any sage at the moment, but picking some sage leaves and steeping them in boiled water that's cooled a little bit, that could be really nice, particularly for hot flushes. So that's something to try. And I think I've spoken already about sleep. It's really, quite important to get good sleep. It's one thing that is disrupted a lot during a heat wave. But the bedding, keeping the cool room by having a fan and open windows if it's cooler out at night. Sometimes if it's still hot, there's no point opening a window if it's hotter outside than it is in. But opening windows when you can. And if I do wake in the night, sometimes I'll go around and open more windows to get the cool air into the house. And first thing in the morning, before the heats come up, I'll come and open all the doors and around the back and get the air in that way. So there, you may want to have a word with your doctor as well. There may be medications that can assist here, but I just want to talk about the natural things that you can do quite simply at home. So I hope you can stay cool this week and don't suffer too much in this second heat wave of the year that we're having in the UK. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.